All is well. It's your boy Coach White, your self improvement coach. Got my main man 50 in the building behind me. What's up, champ? And I've been sharing his posts, man. So if you guys have any young athletes out there, particularly D line types, hit him up, man. He's doing some amazing things with the youth and using the football to draw people closer to Christ. And it's all about his work, his being Christ's work. I mean, if we're not working for him, we're not working. So so yeah, man, looking forward to getting back into this today. Let's go. Let's get right into this because 30 minutes is short. Let's go over some quick announcements. So if you've been checking in with me, I'm here every Wednesday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your coach class, and I'm here every Sunday from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bible study. Because there's no self improvement unless you're growing closer to Christ. You can forget about it. So we're here on those days. We are taking a journey through the book of Hebrews on Sundays. We are in chapter 10, verse 5 or 6, maybe even 7, 5 or 6. We've been journeying through the book of Hebrews for a year and like 7 months, man, verse by verse. So yeah, if you're interested, we're here every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, if you're checking us out on TikTok, you will not be able to see the presentation, but you can venture over to my YouTube channel at Darrell White, and you can see the presentation from there, including tonight. So I wanted to share that real quick. We have the playground challenges starting for all youth 17 and under. So if you're in the Baltimore metropolitan area, send me a DM, man, especially, for the single mothers out there who need a break. I'm giving you like 3 hours on a Saturday where you can drop your youth off. We do 15-minute runs. We do exercises. We do coaching huddles. We do obstacle courses. We play a little tag. And we finish out with some community service, man. So if you're interested, send me a DM, and I'll send you the liability forms and the agenda, and we can get your youth plugged in. What else we have going on? If we're not connected on TikTok, I'm at Darrell Dr. White. On Facebook, I'm at Darrell White. And I have 2 YouTube channels, y'all. One is an event page. That's the Gallery That Tells Your Story channel. And then Darrell White channel, where we have all of the Bible studies. We have all of the coach classes. And we have a preview of my new documentary coming out. It should be out in a couple of weeks. It's called No Funerals. That's right. We are not doing any funerals. So I initially started to do this or put this together because I really wanted my kids to have something to reflect on when I'm in glory. Something they can always go to and say, my pops live here, my pops live there, my pops learned these lessons, so I don't have to necessarily go through the same experiences. Yeah, I'm sharing all that in this documentary. It's called No Funerals, The Education of Coach White. So that should be out in a couple of weeks. We're chopping that up right now. What else we have going on? Brody, I see you. Thanks for jumping in. I'm going to bring you up in 1 second. Also, I've been talking to you guys. I am building a non-profit arm of my coaching business. It's called Catch Up. This is an opportunity for youth who are failing or those that are behind grade level, reading, math. But specifically, listen to this, those who have challenges with social anxiety disorder. I'm building a nonprofit for those particular youth so that you have an opportunity to have a one-on-one learning experience with an instructor in the company of your home or at your local library, where you don't have to worry about being bullied. You don't have to worry about all the things that come along with being in a public school setting. And then I'm going to coach you up until you're ready to return to the environment. So it's going to be really dope. So right now, I'm looking for a board legal advisor, somebody that has a legal background, an attorney, a lawyer. I've solidified my director of learning and development. I'm looking for a fundraiser and community partnerships director. The fundraising part is going to be key. All right. So if you know somebody with that experience, let me know. I'm almost close to getting my audit and compliance director. Got to have a meeting tomorrow. I'm looking for a finance director. I'm looking for somebody with nonprofit experience that could be the advisor on the board. So if you know anybody who is interested in this mission, this is going to be really big, y'all. I believe that the Lord is going to do some mighty things with this ministry. If you know anybody, let me know, man. Send me a DM, and I am building my board of directors. All right? So that's all the announced. Oh, let me not forget. Let me share my screen real quick. So you know your boy is a four-time author now. So I just wanted to show you guys what my latest book cover looks like. It's called Intersections. Stories of pain turned into purpose. This is what that looks like. Isn't that dope? We got Redemption Street. We got Reconciliation Street. We got Restoration Street. And we got Providence Street. So I had the pleasure of doing this project with my wife. Shout out to her. Savion 50 Williams, who's behind me. And my man Kenny Dax Martin. So you can get that on Amazon and Kindle. Again, it's called Intersections. Stories of pain turned into purpose. So check that out, man. Support your boy. $16.99 if you want to get the hardback. You get all 287 pages. Or you can buy it on Kindle for $6.99. Or you can read it for free on Kindle. But your feedback is really going to be important, all right? Appreciate you guys. And before I get started with the quote of the day, I'm going to bring Brody up real quick. But I want to give a shout out to my brothers and sisters on TikTok. They're spreading this gospel, man. I had the opportunity, shout out to King Jack. I had the opportunity to be in some really dope panels this week, man. Learned a whole lot, man. Learned a lot. A lot of sharpening going on. So shout out to all my TikTok brothers and sisters that are spreading the gospel and defending the truth, man. Lord bless you. And I appreciate you guys. All right, let me bring Brody up, man. Check in with him. Let me wide my screen, brother. This screen too small for a giant like you, champ. Let me bring the volume up.
What's up, bro? I'm just fixing something real quick.
Yeah, what's up with you? How your week going so far?
No, I'm good. You know me, bro. I stay in gratitude, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's been cool. How you feel?
Man, all is well, man. I found myself. It was necessary for me to share your wisdom, man. Some things that you said over the past few weeks in our coach class that was really catchy. I found myself sharing that in my coach classes on Tuesdays and Thursday, man. So I just want to thank God for your wisdom.
Nah, you already know, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. Real dope, man. Real dope. All right, man. Let's get into this, man. We're gonna talk about toxic family relationship dynamics, man, and how to manage and navigate through those. Because all of us have, all of us experience it to one degree or another. So let me minimize you for a second. Let's go to the quote of the day. Let me read this. I'm going to read this 3 times, and then we're going to have some conversation about it. All right, here we go. TikTok, Facebook, salute, salute. YouTube, salute, salute. Here's the quote of the day. Listen to this. You have the right to put up a fence between you and your family and the choice whether to include a gate. Let that sink in for a minute. You have the right to put up a fence between you and your family and the choice whether to include a gate. One more time for the people in the back. You have the right, I don't know who I'm talking to put up a fence between you and your family and the choice whether to include a gate. I want that to sink in for a minute. Of course, we're going. Let's pick this apart. Of course, we're gonna pick this apart. Let's go to the chalkboard for a minute. Let's talk about this quote of the day here. Let me expand this a little bit. Let's have some fun with this. So, a couple of things I noticed in this quote: a fence and a gate. So what I wrote here in the notes, let me minimize it a little bit so I can fit it on the screen. Identifying, listen to this, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, identifying unhealthy family relationship dynamics and establishing healthy boundaries are important. Now you hearing this? Identifying unhealthy family relationship dynamics and establishing healthy boundaries are important. Let's think about, the quote mentions a fence and a gate. So what does a fence do? A fence provides security. It deters people while also keeping people out of your space. A fence also creates privacy. It reduces visibility from the outside or from outside. A fence also defines boundaries. Clearly, it marks boundary lines and separates private space from the outside. The quote also mentions a gate. What does a gate do? A gate is a barrier that's movable, right? It's placed at an entry point within a fence. It allows or denies access to you. So let's put this together. And I love this quote, by the way. A fence defines and protects the boundary. And a gate controls how you access that boundary. A fence with a gate is a secure perimeter with a controlled entrance. So I want you to give that some thought. Because with some family members, it's going to be very, very key for you to establish a healthy boundary. First, you got to identify what that healthy boundary should look like. And before you do that, you got to identify why it's necessary. And some people feel convicted because it's family, you have this loyalty to family. But imagine, I gave this example this week in my coach class on Tuesday. Imagine, right, that you're a kid, right? Imagine that you're a kid and let me stop. I wasn't sharing that. I'm sorry. Imagine that you're a kid and your dad, when you're 3 or 4, you're able to identify your colors. Your dad is wearing a red shirt. You notice your mom is wearing the same red shirt, and your sister is wearing the same red shirt as your dad. So your mom is wearing the same red shirt as your dad. Your sister is wearing the same red shirt as your dad. But you notice at age 3 and 4 that you don't have a red shirt. So you start to feel left out. You start to desire to be what we call in uniform. So I'm being analogous if you follow me. So in order for you to be in uniform, you have to conform to the ways of your dad, your mom, your sister, so on and so forth. But guess what, y'all? That red shirt can represent physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. And then when you grow up, you're so used to seeing this red shirt and wearing this red shirt, you think it's all normal, right? Until you meet somebody who has a different color shirt. And then you meet somebody else with a different color shirt. You start to realize that they're not in uniform. And then your eyes start to open up as you see these people with these different color shirts on. And then you start to do some reflecting, do some healing, you start to do some work. You get with myself, you with Coach Jamal, you get with a therapist, you with somebody, and you realize that red shirt, the uniform behind that red shirt was passed down from generations in your family. And this toxicity represented this shirt that you wear. How fast do you want to take that shirt off? Some people want to take it off right away and they recognize for what it is. I want to wear a different shirt. But some people, it's so normalized and ingrained in who they are, they can't even see themselves wearing a different shirt. So much so that they pass the same shirt on to their kids and their kids' kids. What shirt do you want to wear? So let's get into this article of the day. Let's learn together. So this article is called How to Navigate Difficult Family Relationships. Let me share my screen right here. All right, this is from Dr. Eileen Strauss. I won't read all of this. It says the truth about repairing complicated relationships. Let's learn together, shall we? The doctor goes on to say, some of our family relationships feel secure and satisfying. Those are the relationships we are comfortable being ourselves in. On the other hand, she says, certain family relationships can feel so difficult and stressful that we wonder if that person should even be in our life. Many of us hope that the family member or members who emotionally trigger us will change, keeping us in the relationship until the next emotionally triggering event happens. She gives an example. Maybe your father will finally appreciate all you do. Your sister will complain less, or your aunt will stop telling you what to do. Perhaps you set boundaries, express your feelings about behaviors you don't like, or even push yourself to be more accommodating. However, she says, if you've managed a problematic relationship long enough, you have probably started to notice the other person never really changes, not for long at least. There's an issue with thinking, pushing or hoping, she says, the other person will change to improve our relationships. When we focus on the other person, listen to this. When we focus on the other person changing so our relationship can improve, we don't see what we are blind to, which is understanding how we might contribute to the problems. What we have control of, which is ourselves, and how we can learn to manage conflict better. In therapy, she says, I often work with clients to shift the focus from others to themselves. In sessions, I ask questions like, what does your father's criticism of your marriage bring up for you? How do you react to his criticism? How would you like to respond to him in the future that allows you to communicate your thoughts constructively? And what is your father up against if you yell and criticize him for criticizing you? Listen to this, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Our complicated relationships are the ones that can help us grow the most if we let them. Are you letting that sink in? Our complicated relationships are the ones that can help us grow the most if we let them. The emotions that others trigger within us tell us some important information about ourselves. She goes on to say, first we can learn what bothers us, telling us where to set a boundary. We can discover if there is an unmet need or a wound we must heal, and and when we should speak up more or let something go. When we take control of navigating complicated relationships, triggering moments can help us learn how to better regulate when we are upset, communicate more constructively, be vulnerable, and remain connected to people even if we don't always get along. The person you find difficult, listen to this, might be challenging and need to change, but, she says, trying to push them to change or being reactive yourself isn't helpful when trying to mend those relationships. Also, we have no control over whether someone will change, potentially creating more pain and suffering if we continue going down that path. It is wasted energy. Are you hearing this? It is wasted energy that could go into more helpful areas of your life. So, she says, when navigating complicated relationships, don't blame the other person entirely. Force others to change and react without thinking first. Instead, try to accept them for who they are. Take accountability for yourself and your part. Better communicate what is and isn't okay with you from a clear mind, and lean toward connection instead of protection. So let's go back to the chalkboard for a minute. Because now we got to talk about what I'm going to ask you guys to journal for this session. This over here. And it's free. I have to move this over a little more. Took some notes for you. The first thing I noted is this. There is an issue with thinking, pushing, or hoping the other person will change to improve our relationships. When we focus on the other person changing, we don't see or understand how we might contribute to the problems. This is where that self accountability comes in. Very important. And I'm speaking to myself as well. Our complicated relationships are the ones that help us grow the most. The emotions that others trigger within us tell us some important information about ourselves. First, we can learn what bothers us, telling us where to set a boundary. We can discover if there is an unmet need or a wound we must heal, and when we should speak up more or let something go. I'm just sharing my notes from the article. When we take control of navigating complicated relationships, triggering moments can help us learn how to better self regulate when we are upset. Communicate more constructively, be vulnerable, and remain connected to people. Then I noted this. When navigating complicated relationships, don't blame the other person entirely. Force others to change and react without thinking first. Instead, try to accept them for who they are, take accountability for yourself and your part, better communicate what is and isn't okay with you from a clear mind, and lean toward connection instead of protection. So here's your journal questions. Y'all ready for these? Here's the first one. Let me expand this a little bit for you. This is the first thing you're going to ask yourself in your journal. Take note of this. In what ways do we contribute to our dysfunctional family relationships? In what ways do we contribute to our dysfunctional family relationships? That's the first question for your journal. The second one is, have you taken responsibility for yourself and your part? Because we all play a part in this. The third and final question for your journal is, have you communicated clear boundaries? Have you communicated clear boundaries? Very important. All right, I'm going to stop sharing there. Brody, I know you're working. We'll bring you up real quick in the event that you got time to give us some wisdom. Let me widen the screen real quick. Let me unmute you. What you think, Chant? Any wisdom for the people?
Hold on, bro. What today? What I was thinking about, that when you learn that a person's behavior has nothing to do with you and more with their internal struggle, you learn grace.
Nice.
You know, so even with family, a lot of our families got like we all do, got things they battling. So a lot of that stuff they be projecting. You know, so like you said, take out your part, take accountability for your part, and set boundaries. That's why that fence and that the gate. That's how you set your boundaries. So it's like you can choose that let them in the gate, or you can choose not to.
Yeah. You're in total control. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're in control of it. So it's just like, but then when you learn like so much going on within them internally, you learn some grace, and grace can get compassion and empathy and help you put yourself in their shoes for a second. Not to enable them or, but just to hold that space. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, that's key, man. Man, grace is a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
If we all had it, man, it would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Especially
man.
for yourself. Have it for yourself.
Yeah. 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 And the thing of the matter is, man, I wouldn't be at who I am if I didn't say, if we can look in the mirror and comfortably don't extend grace to somebody, then we are raising our standards above a holy God who gives grace so freely. And who are we to do that? So yeah, man, that's a good point, man. That's another thing I pray that I'll remember tomorrow. I look for opportunity to share whatever wisdom you give me or whatever wisdom I obtain. Man, I thank God for it, man. I thank God for you, good brother.
Dang, bro.
Absolutely. All right, good people. We great close out. So if you're checking in via TikTok, man, salute. Thank you for checking in. Even if you checked in for a little bit, appreciate you guys. Facebook, salute. YouTube, salute. We see you guys next week, same time, same bad channel. Lord willing. Peace.